So what we have here is a early mock-up prototype of the Third World War, the Compass Games Signature Design Edition in Tabletop Simulator. And really, um, it really was an experiment for me to see whether or not I wanted to try Tabletop Simulator and try a project, try to move a game into it just to see what it would be like. Honestly, if you are a war game fan and you have the game, you probably are familiar with Vassal, and you really should use Vassal if you're going to play the game. This is an exercise in madness on my part, just as an experiment. I wanted to see how easy or hard it was to put a game in, and I had really been hankering for the space to lay out the full combined game in my house, and it's just not going to work out. Unfortunately, the rooms that are maybe large enough to handle everything, let's just say they have other uses the family feels. So I thought I'd try to put the whole thing into Tabletop Simulator, because it's sort of I've never played a game on Tabletop Simulator. I've seen so many videos, and it just sort of has this feeling of 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 being in the real world. It kind of tricks your brain a little bit. Anyway, I've never played a game on it. I've never imported a game except for this one. So very quickly, I just thought I would give my thoughts on where we are so far. I've mostly got things set up to play. I think everything's in it. It's it. First of all, I shamelessly just took all the images from Vassal, so I don't have any permission from anybody to do this, and the hard work other people have done. So this is not available anywhere yet, and don't ask me. I'm not going to share the files without getting permission from the guys at Compass and probably Vassal as well. So and I may just delete this whole thing if it doesn't really work well anyway. But here's some things I like about it versus a traditional sort of video game. Is it feels like I'm here, and if I want to, it has some neat things. Like if I'm up here and thinking about where to go, and I want to look at, I don't know, terrain, I can just reach over here. I'm not going to a pull down menu, or I can go, oh yeah, what's that over there? Yes, right. And so I have this sort of very easy. You see, I'm getting the extent of the JPEGs, the resolution's kicking out there, but it's pretty easy and intuitive. You sort of feel like you're going to that part of the table to do what you need to do. Um, Much like Vassal or any other game like it also has, of course, it has shortcuts, so I can zoom to different parts of the map and see different sections of the map pretty easily. Unfortunately, it only has 9, and I think I'd like to have 30 shortcuts. Where it runs into a little bit of, I don't know, trouble, but some frustrations. Where's a good example? Um, if I come in here in Berlin, you can see I've got 3 hexes stacked in Berlin, and I've stacked them this way. Whereas right out of the can, something like Vassal, you hover over and you see them. It was designed for war games. That doesn't come out of the can here. I'd have to script that in somehow. And there's lots of ways to customize this if you're familiar with coding. So it's not that you can't do anything in this that you could in Vassal necessarily. It's just simply the fact that Vassal's got it ready to go. But I do really like being able to do things like this and just sort of, I don't know. There's something visceral about it that I think is neat. I'm not sure if it's practical yet, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I think I'm going to finish cleaning this up, and I'm going to try playing the game. I'm going to try to play. I'm going to kick off the full combined game. I've never played it before, so I'm going to try that here and see if it works. And if I get frustrated because it doesn't work, I'll just tear the whole thing down. If I do think people might get something out of it, then I will see if the people who did the hard work and own these images mind me doing this. Then I can offer it on the workshop. I mean, I will say this was very trivial to load this in. The forms and the maps are super easy. Just anybody could do those. The trickier part was the counters. The counters are fine to load in, but one at a time it would take somebody years. So if you know a little bit about coding, I just wrote a script that went through and just imported them all automatically. So it took almost no time to build this. If you are intrigued about building something like this with one of your war games, just as a project for yourself, and you're familiar with coding, I don't think you'll have any problem getting this up and going in no time. This I mean, I took a little, maybe 3 days, but certainly like not all day, every day. I would take a little bit of time out in 3 days. I don't know, probably a couple hours to build it all, and with a lot of false starts and things like that. Maybe 3 hours with some mistakes that I realized. I don't know, but certainly not. It's not a serious project. So I've never built anything for Vassal. I have no idea if Vassal's hard or easy, but it wasn't too bad to build. The one thing I've really noticed, one of the advantages supposed to be with Tabletop Simulator, I learned from watching Vasseling with Stu, is that I should be able to blow this map up and make this hexes really big. So if we are stacking, we can actually lay the units beside each other in. But I can't do that because this image I made into one image. This map over here I'd be able to blow up nicely. But I think there's a limit on the physical amount of pixels or size of an object. And so it won't let me blow this up more. If I kept these to 3 separate maps, I probably could blow them up nicely, assuming the resolution held and they didn't look too ugly, and then lay them side by side. I'd probably have to do it across, though. Then I really wouldn't have a lot of other space. Like, we're really maximizing the space available here. But it's all there. They've got, like, they do all the other cool things, right? We can, the decks are neat. We can go in, and that's a whole deck. But if I want to take one card, and I can flip it over, and I can shuffle the deck, and in here all the chits are, they can easily be, I think it's up here. They have a little random sections, so I can come here and say, sort these, randomly mix these chits up. And so I can pretty much do whatever you need to do to play the game. And the dice are fun. But honestly, if you're gonna play Third World War, and you're comfortable with Vassal and you just want to play the game, just go do Vassal. Vassal's awesome. Go do it. This isn't in any way a thought that we shouldn't be using it. It really was an experiment on using this sort of, I don't know, newish type of tool. I guess it's 7 years old now, but I only discovered it recently, so I just really wanted to try it out. Anyway, there's my thoughts on this, and I'll find out what the Compass guys think about maybe sharing these images and letting me put this in the workshop. And if they don't, I won't, and we'll go with that. There it is. There's Third World War on Tabletop Simulator, which you can get in Steam for $20, I think, or $25, and a whole bunch of games. So we'll see whether I love or hate this. Perhaps I'll report back.